Sell the house, sell the car, sell the kids, buy Litecoin.
Probably not the best of advice in hindsight, but it does make a nice slogan for a t-shirt. So the Litecoin halving is finally upon us, and boy are people excited. Okay, so the enthusiasm has slightly worn off. That's probably because we haven't seen much bullish price action in the recent weeks leading up to the halving. Sure, Litecoin is still 200% up this year, but since its peak of $140 in June, we saw a retrace of 50% come July. Not exactly the bullish price action that everyone was expecting. Still, this is a momentous occasion, and while Bitcoin has seen some impressive price action around its past halvings, that doesn't mean it's a given that Litecoin will be a carbon copy. In fact, it could be the case that Litecoin has its own paths and will only see action after the halving. But more on that theory later. For now, let's see what the Litecoin halving actually involves. So block reward halvings, to give them their proper name, derive from Bitcoin as all cryptocurrencies tend to do. The halving was instilled into Bitcoin by Satoshi Nakamoto as a quasi-monetary policy to ensure the circulating supply was limited and inflation was kept under control. In order to maintain inflation, the reward for mining a block, be it Bitcoin or Litecoin, is halved approximately every 4 years. Today, Litecoin's mining reward goes from 25 LTC per block mined to just 12.5. Now, Bitcoin has historically responded well to this event, gaining 40,000% 1 year after its first halving and 842% after its second. Coincidence? Possibly. Still, there are many that believe there is a direct correlation between price action and a halving event. And acting as a conduit between these two is the principle of supply and demand. In essence, the less of an asset being produced, the more valuable that asset is due to its reinvigorated scarcity. Now, unfortunately for Litecoin, its past performance surrounding its halvings have been a little bit drab. While anticipation of a halving peaked LTC's price from $1.70 to $8.40 in 2015, the actual event itself was rather lackluster, with its price slipping to around $3 shortly after the halving. On top of this was Litecoin's first ever halving, so there isn't any more historical data to go by. Hence why most predictions for Litecoin are based on Bitcoin's past halving performance, or simply by the principle of supply and demand. Luckily for us, there's a way to measure the impact of reduced supply on value. So this metric is known as the stock to flow ratio, which essentially measures the relationship between an asset's supply and inflation to measure its scarcity. This model is typically used within commodities such as silver and gold to measure their value. The higher the stock to flow ratio, the more value is perceived. One analyst known as Plan B used this model on Bitcoin, calculating that BTC had a stock to flow, or SF, of 25, which roughly equates to Bitcoin taking 25 years to duplicate its current circulating supply. This pales in comparison to, say, gold, which has the highest SF of all commodities at 62. But here's where things get interesting, because the analyst calculated that post the Bitcoin halving, the stock to flow ratio of Bitcoin should stand at 50 due to its reduced supply, with the analyst even suggesting a price point of $100,000 per BTC come 2020. If we look at this projection, which was based on Plan B's analysis, we can see that the stock to flow correlation with price has been pretty accurate in the past, and it even goes on to allude a price of $50 million by 2030. Madness. So what does this have to do with Litecoin? Well, calculating Litecoin's stock to flow ratio by dividing its circulating supply by its annual production gives an SF of roughly 12, meaning that post-halving, Litecoin will have an SF of approximately 24, which is obviously close to Bitcoin's current ratio of 25. I'll let the speculative among you draw your own conclusions from that. Again, unfortunately, this isn't necessarily reflected in Litecoin's run-up to its halving, but one crypto analyst believes this is because Litecoin has a different way of doing things. Moon Overlord, a popular crypto analyst, suggests that if Litecoin follows its precedent that it set last time, which saw LTC bottoming 200 days before its halving, we could see a peak for LTC by 2021. We can test this theory now by seeing where Litecoin bottomed this time around. Lo and behold, it was around the 14th of December 2018, roughly 233 days before the Litecoin halving. Could we assume from this that we can expect another peak in 2021? Anything is possible. But regardless of any of this, we've still seen a 3,000% increase in the 4 years since Litecoin's last halving, and that speaks volumes in itself. But that's enough from me. I'd love to hear what you guys think, so please leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, because apparently it helps, and hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of this kind of content. Thanks a lot guys for watching, and I'll see you soon.